Look at me biking on the solar panels, just tracking mud all over them. Honestly, like if someone fat, that's mean, but if someone heavy or is carrying stuff steps on these solar panels, they're gonna crack and break. Is that why Sunny Shore City has a power outage for most of the game? Because their bridges are solar panels and people just break them and cover them in mud and like, oops, I tripped and dropped my bowling ball. Because as we all know, Sunny Shore is the home of Sinnoh's bowling alley, and it broke the solar panels. And now the hospital down the street, all their incubators are broken because the bridges are solar panels. Like, this is a cool city idea, but it's dumb. Why do you walk on the solar panels? Hi, welcome back to Nuzlocke Vlogs. My name is Casey Jarms. I'm a YouTuber who makes video essays and D&D stories and other stuff, and this is my second channel where I play a Pokemon game and do a Nuzlocke and talk about things, like sort of a vlog, like talk about my week and what's coming up for the channel, and you gotta talk to Volkner and tell him to stop being a lazy asshole and get to his gym. Speaking of responding to comments, did I say that I respond to comments on this? I do have a comment to respond to and read out because last week, as I was training up my team, my Riolu egg hatched, and I named it Ollie after a commenter who I saw their comment last time and said I should name a Pokemon after that, but I didn't read it in full. So, great video. This is on my The Destiny of Dave Strider. That's a Homestuck video essay I made about Dave Strider, and I'm getting lost on the stupid solar panel bridge. Great video, but honestly, I think you're too hard on Lil Hal. He's in the same boat as Dave Sprite, except he's got it even worse. Just like Dave Sprite is Dave, Lil Hal is Dirk. He's the same little control freak, except he's lost all control over his life and even his body, condemned to being a disembodied consciousness in his stupid, ironic glasses, and he can't even try talking about it to anyone because his friends, who he dearly loves, all hate him now for being an annoyance they have to go through to get to the real Dirk, the only person on Earth who ever acknowledge his sentience, being the other Dirk, and both Dirks hate Dirk Strider, trying to play the game and read at the same time. He can't even kill himself to end his suffering because he's too scared, because something in him refuses to let Dirk Strider die. No matter what, he needs to stick it out and try to claw a foothold into reality again to try and regain some modicum of control of his life. The fact that he lived like that for so long and only became kind of an asshole to the people who'd been abusing him for years is a testament to how evil he isn't. And yeah, that's fair. I was too harsh on Lil Hal in the video essay. I mean, I didn't talk about him that much. I just talked about, like, and Dirk creates another Dirk who he hates because Dirk hates himself and he has all of Dirk's flaws, which makes Dirk hate him even more because Dirk hates himself. But, like, Lil Hal is a really complex and interesting character who kind of falls off or doesn't do much after becoming Arceus. But yeah, he's a really well-written character. I like him. Kind of a shame that he ends up vaguely becoming, like, it's more complicated than that, that he ends up becoming the evil monologuing Doc Scratch bad guy. Although that's not entirely him. There's a lot of Aqueous and Caliborn and that too, and a bit of Gamzee. And Doc Scratch's origin is a whole mess. I'm never going to escape from Homestuck and stop making Nuzlocke vlogs where I just rant about Homestuck for the whole time. Oh, actually, I should say, because wait, you evolve at level 30? I didn't know that. I changed up my team because, you know, 2 parts ago I fought Cyrus and lost half my team, and last time I'm like, ooh, I'll add a Snover, and then it died. So I have added the Ralts, which I evolved to Gallade, and the Shinx, which I evolved to Luxray. Still training up the Shinx, or I guess Luxray now. Almost got my final team, and I think I'm going to see where I get in Victory Road. It'll be a Steelix or a Gabite, and maybe I'll lose Pokemon in Victory Road, but I think that'll probably be my 6th. The Riolu is just here because I needed to read off that comment. Last Sunday there was another Homestuck update. It is consistent updates, not the unhealthily fast update pace that Andrew Hussey did. But after just like, God, was it 2 entire years of nothing? It is nice that the comic is updating again. I mean, it Homestuck 2, I have so much mixed feelings about, but I think the writing has gotten better since the new writing team took over. And I think like this last update that we got in December of this year was very, very nice. We got a lot of really nice character interactions between Dave and Aradia. I never have any clue how to pronounce her name. Calliope is back in control of Jade's corpse, but she's losing control either because the body's decaying or because Jade is fighting back. We get some insight into Dave Bot as a character where, this is the most mentally unhealthy Dave we've ever seen. He killed himself and became a robot dude who's got Dr. Manhattan all the time at once thing because he was upset about his marriage. This day, Dave, you should have just dated Carcat instead of like going down this heroism path, and like you're going down the heroism path again, which I made a whole video essay about how that's really toxic behavior that Dave needed to outgrow. And actually, the reason I made that Dave Strider video essay is last April for my second Homestuck video, What Killed Homestuck, I announced at the end that my third one would be about the Homestuck epilogues, and I read the Homestuck epilogues, and as I read them, I get towards the end where there's a part where people don't talk about this enough, that Dirk knows he's the evil bad guy. He's like playing it up and being especially a dick so that other people will go beat him. Like Dirk's whole thing is that he wants the story of Homestuck to continue, and he knows stories need conflict and an antagonist, so he's volunteering himself as that antagonist and doing just really fucked up evil shit and acting absolutely horrible to the people he's supposed to care about so that they'll hate him and fight him, and that will give the story conflict, is what his whole deal in the Homestuck epilogues are. It's really interesting. He's a bastard, but he's a complex bastard, and these Pokemon are high level. I did not expect that Raichu to be so strong. Actually, I'm going to switch out and take it out with my Hippowdon. But anyway, the reason I had to make a video essay about Dave Strider is because at the end of the Homestuck epilogues, Dirk, after he's become this evil villain, he flat out states that, don't worry, I'm going to die at the end. Yeah, Dave is going to strike me down and be a hero, and I'm like, oh god, he's trying to force Dave to be a hero again, even though that was the whole point of Dave's character arc, is him overcoming the need to be a hero. And I just realized I need to talk about Dirk being a control freak who's got a lot of flaws that bubble to the surface during the epilogues, and Dave shouldn't be the hero. Honestly, the fact that Dirk is trying to make Dave the hero, that is so much. He's being fucking Caliborn, because that's what Caliborn did. He killed John and then made Dave the main character because Dave's just cool. Caliborn thinks Dave's cool. Like that's what Caliborn does during Homestuck. And you know what Dirk does? He kills that timeline's version of John and then is planning to make Dave the hero. It's just a whole mess. But anyway, Dave is so mentally unhealthy where he's just God, I don't know how to describe what's going on with Dave. I need to reread it. He's decided to become a robot and go fight Dirk because Candy Timeline Dave was completely empty and miserable inside, and also Obama told him to, which is, God, I just love how fucking stupid the Obama scene is. I love the fact that Dirk Strider, the Homestuck epilogues made Dirk Strider evil, and also they made him have sex with American President Barack Obama. And people say the epilogues are bad, and they kinda are, but Did any other piece of Homestuck canon give us Dirk teaching the art of lovemaking to Barack Hussein Obama Jr., the 44th President of the United States of America? No. No, I don't think so. Also, all the like stuff of Dave and Radia being friends. His I never knew I needed this, but I'm glad I have it. They have such good bouncing off each other, just weirdo time traveler friends together. It's nice. I'm enjoying Homestuck Beyond Canon. And actually, when we're talking about Homestuck Beyond Canon, like that update inspired me to write a little bit of fan fiction. Maybe I'll link it in the description, about a character. This is a character I think is very underrated, and well, maybe underrated. It's the wrong term because this character has like 2 pages total of screen time, but people hate this character, and I like them and think they're actually well written and going to be one of the best Homestuck characters. And maybe I'm deluding myself. And that character is Yiffany Longstocking Lalonde Harley. And the concept of that character is so dumb, and it's a big plot hole, and just kind of stupid, and it's the thing people hate most about Homestuck Beyond Canon. People go on just angry rants about it, like when James Roach took over the comic. He said, I'm in charge of the comic now," and every single comment he got was like, "Okay, are you getting rid of this part? Yeah, but James Roach, are you getting rid of this part? I know you said you don't want to retcon stuff, but get rid of Jade's dick. Like, just keep on moves. Yeah, just get rid of Jade's penis. Did we mention Jade's penis? James, did you know that we don't like Jade's penis and the child? Like, just retcon that away. Like, James, we need to talk to you about Jade's penis. Why are you not responding to all of our comments about that? Just like 50 fucking people. Well, that's exaggeration, but so many people just. That is all they know about Beyond Canon and want to talk about. And that is not why Beyond Canon was bad before the update. It was bad because it was poorly paced and boring, not because it continued some of the epilogues like Shockout stuff briefly. But anyway, I think this is my whole thesis on the Homestuck fandom, that I've came to over the years, is that Homestuck is a very flawed work, but half of the flaws that people think it has are just due to people not really wanting to interact with the comic on the level that the comic asks them to interact with them on. Like I think a lot of people got into Homestuck because it has a lot of characters you see fan art of on Tumblr, and it has the cool animated bits, but they don't get into the themes about the story or like what the story is trying to tell, and then they just hear like a plot point about it, someone complaining about on top. You have Ice Punch. I'm 90% sure you have Ice Punch. Why would you go for Fire Punch? I was kind of worried about you, and you go for Fire Punch. But like sometimes you see like on Reddit, like, or is it the Luxray that has Ice Fang? I don't remember. Oh, okay, never mind. You aren't dumb. I mean, it did nothing. But sometimes on Reddit, you'll see people like, "Hi, I'm through into Act 5 now. Can I just skip all the pester logs? I don't think they're very interesting." And then you shouldn't be reading the comic that is 90% dialogue if you don't want to read the dialogue. Then it isn't like a comic for you, and like you're not going to get it or understand the themes because you're not actually reading it. Or you'll see people like, "Hey, can I just skip to Act 5 when they introduce the trolls because the stuff before that is boring?" And no, I think Homestuck is a very complicated work that you have to interact with on the grounds that the comic asks you to interact with it. And Homestuck's, this isn't me pulling stuff out of my ass. This is like very telegraphed, obvious things about how Homestuck is structured. Like, Homestuck is a comic where it, for an extended bit, has the bad guy take over the comic and then just replace it with a version called Homestuck where he makes bad jokes and just mocks the other characters. And like the Homestuck fan, well, actually, a lot of people will rant about Act 6, which does annoy me because Act 6 is two very different chunks of the comic that are like not comparable. But anyway, what was I saying? So like the comic will often do just dumb stuff because it wants to be the story that asks about narrative and free will and what it means to be a character in a piece of fiction. And like maybe I have just read the comic too many times for video essays that I think it's smart, but I do think it's a comic that has a lot to say, and a lot of interesting ideas in it. And this is a preamble to, like, how do I want to phrase this? When you're talking about Homestuck, you shouldn't just treat it like another story, and I genuinely don't know how to phrase this. I need to wait until April when I have it all written out, my thoughts. Like, this is me testing out my thoughts for the video essay I'm making in April. Homestuck does weird stuff, and it does weird stuff because it ties into the themes and ideas of the comic. And there is a big reluctance, and I feel like it's gotten worse in the fandom over time, to acknowledge that when the comic does weird stuff, it is doing it for parts of the themes. Like getting back to Homestuck. Like the Homestuck epilogues, it's like it starts with an AO3 page. It starts with Archive of Our Own and says this is bad fan fiction, and then the plot is John Egbert gets trapped in bad Homestuck fan fiction and slowly becomes depressed because he doesn't know if anyone around him is real, and then everyone's response to it is, I can't believe these characters are acting out of character and like in bad fan fiction. And like, really? You're shocked by that? Did you see the fucking AO3 page? Like, this epilogue is not hiding that it's a commentary on fan fiction, and people will be like, actually, I think the reason this is written this way is because the author wanted to write something that was bad and hates us, or maybe the author has some themes and ideas that wants to get across. And I think the Homestuck epilogues are flawed as hell. I think they often like mess up at getting those themes across, but it is very clearly a work that is trying to say something, and a work where things happen because they contribute to that. And gang back to Homestuck 2. This is what happens in Homestuck 2. It introduces that Jade secretly has a daughter named Yiffany Longstocking, who has been raised in boarding schools, and that Rose was the surrogate mother and never told Kanaya, and like they introduced that plot point, and immediately afterwards they have Dirk Strider, the main villain who's become an omnipotent god and the comics narrator, get in a conversation with the comics author where it's like, this is fucking stupid. Why did you have this happen? This is a stupid thing. This is just a plot hole. This character's existence is a plot hole. And then people's responses, even though that has happened, like there is the antagonist in this story that is not hiding, that's the most meta thing on the fucking planet. Like, Dirk's complaining about the character's existence being a plot hole, and it very explicitly says that Dirk's, like, his hand is trembling, that the existence of Yiffany kind of unnerves Dirk and is bad for his plans. And people's responses, hey, this character is a dumb plot hole that shouldn't exist. Why did you add this? I think it's because they wanted to write something that was bad, and also that they hate us. Are you sure? Are you 100% sure? Or maybe, just maybe, this is part of the themes of the dubious canon continuity that aren't even, like, subtle, that have been beaten over the head very blatantly, like big signs saying this is about what this is about. This is like a meditation on the ideas of fan fiction and how different writers write characters. Like, I don't fucking know. So anyway, I write a little piece based on my ideas of where Yiffany is going as a character, and I think she is not something that existed naturally in this world. I think she is something that she is a character who was forced into existence by the narrator of Candy, whether that is Hussey or Calliope or a third person. It's very unclear and contradictory at this point. Someone has created Yiffany, who is this walking dumb plot hole, for a reason, and I think it's because through some meta level she is dangerous to Dirk, and that's why Dirk is scared. And based on those plots, I wrote a very short piece where it is Calliope confronting Yiffany, and I don't actually think this is where the comic will go, but I thought was good enough for the fanfic, where alt Calliope, the Muse, is the Muse meets with Yiffany, explains, I created you to be a dumb thing because I knew that would allow me to kill Dirk. You are a weapon, you are not a person. And like Yiffany doesn't fucking care about any of it and is just pissed and keeps trying throughout the whole scene to repeatedly murder the Muse. And that's why I kind of like Yiffany from her 2 pages, I mean it's like more like a dozen, of appearances, because she's just angry and refuses to go along with any of it. Like, she just hates Jane with a burning passion, hates being held captive, just wants to break free and beat people up and flip them off and call them curse words. And I like that. I feel like since Homestuck is at its core about characters being controlled by the narrative and either accepting that domination or trying to break free and find freedom, like adding in this character who just says fuck it, I'm not going along with your plans, I'm angry. I like that, and that under the right writing could be a really, really interesting character, and maybe one of Homestuck's best. And I'm gonna call this one Yiffany is the best Homestuck character. And it took me a long time to get to that rant. How do I get to this fucking item over here? Do I go? How do I get? Oh, don't I have to start? Like, I don't know, that's my weekly Homestuck ramblings. What's going on in my YouTube channel? My big Christmas special called Which Disney Princesses Deserve the Guillotine is almost done. Yay! Actually, it is done. Kind of. I need to export it, which will take some time, and I need to upload it, which will take some time, and hopefully my computer doesn't crash, because it's just very big video files, and I have a crappy old laptop. But yeah, my 3-hour video essay about which Disney princesses deserve the guillotine is almost done, and it's coming out on Christmas Eve, or Christmas Day if there's like a delay. I don't know, and it's gonna be good. I'm really proud of this one. This one has some great ramblings, like, you know, Viva la Wildebeest, Elsa's a nuclear deterrent, Jacques passes the Harkness test. These will be funny callbacks to it once you've seen it. And that doesn't go up on this channel, it goes on my main channel, which is Casey Jarms. It's like this channel's name, but without the 2's. The 2's are S's. And also there's a link to it on my channel about page. How long is this route? I feel like it's kind of long. I want to get to Victory Road so I can catch my Victory Road encounter so I can train it up off screen. Or maybe I won't train it up off screen, I don't know. Ooh, Aquajet. Ooh, you used priority and did some damage to 77 double D2. I name all my Pokemon after commenters on my main channel. I don't remember what any of these people said. I barely remember what Ollie said. What was that? Something about how Hell deserved better? I don't remember. Like, that was a while ago. Yeah, I don't remember who Egomaniac is. The only Pokemon I remember the comment is my Luxley Eurolac, because I know that person who left the comic personally. Is one of my D&D players who commented on one of my videos. So Michael, you are going to the end with me, and maybe you're gonna die horribly. I'm gonna kill you like Elbin. Yeah, go watch my D&D stories. I finished Torchbearers, which was me recapping a campaign I did. I don't know. I'm running out of things to say. Um, um, oh, in my personal life. So last week I bitched about this because I've been having to do a lot of this. I'm a journalist in my personal life. In my day job, I'm a reporter at a small town newspaper in rural Iowa. And you know what happens in rural Iowa this time of every 4 years? The Iowa caucus. So like all the presidential candidates are coming to Iowa, which means I have to attend their rallies and report on them. And I hate going to Republican rallies. And last week I had to go to a Vivek Ramaswamy rally, and this week I had to go to a second Vivek Ramaswamy rally. Mr. President, a second Vivek has hit the KC Charms. Oh, and and it was word for word. He gave the same speech, which is memorized from a script, almost certainly, word for word. I didn't have much to write on it, because like I already last week wrote about everything he said. It is just completely repeated, is what I'm saying. Actually, no, there was a little bit different. There was where he accused Nikki Haley of being a plant by the Democrats, and also said that the Democrats want you to vote for Trump because he's not allowed to run for president because of their machinations. And by machinations, I mean the machinations of the federal government after the Civil War, when they created the 14th Amendment that says you're not allowed to hold major office if you insurrect. But you see, according to Ramaswamy, actually, the government tricked the January 6 rioters into trying to murder the vice president. And I just Ramaswamy, who was in charge of the federal government then? Ramaswamy, what was it? Donald Trump? So it's still Donald Trump, or it was the secret shadow government of people who worked for Donald Trump. Yeah, like his whole thing was like, actually, as a CAO, I know that if you're not allowed to fire someone, that means they don't work for you, which is why what is this fucking voice? Which is how I know that the FBI is its own branch of the government, because they said that Trump wasn't allowed to fire the head of a law enforcement agency when they investigate for daring to investigate him for the crime that he totally committed. Which means the FBI is the secret shadow government that controls everything and is corrupt because they investigated a president for political corruption. Like, even if Trump was innocent, you'd think that Republicans would want there to be accountability for politicians and for, federal law enforcement to look into Republicans when they commit crimes. But actually, no, that's questioning the authority of the unshakable executive branch. And really, the secret to freedom is to have all the power wrested into a single person who has zero oversight and can never face consequences for his action. That is how we have freedom, is to increase the power of this one particular politician who isn't even elected democratically. And I'm just rambling out like fucking Vivek Ramaswamy. He was introduced by Matt Schultz, like former Iowa Secretary of State, and this Matt Schultz guy is so fucking stupid because he, let's find my next comment. This guy, he starts by saying, I also worked as a campaign guy for Rick Santorum and Ted Cruz. And the media says that Vivek Ramaswamy isn't going to be president, that he's not going to win. Well, they said the same thing about Santorum. who very famously is not president. I mean, I think he meant the Iowa caucus, but honestly, why am I going to my box? Who gives a shit about the Iowa caucus? Like, you looked it up. Like, the last person to win the Iowa caucus and then become president is Barack Obama in 2008. Like, for a while now, it has been not. The Iowa caucus has not been a big deal in deciding who president is. So, like, why are we still putting so much emphasis on it if it's not very influential based on the actual history of these elections that we've seen? I don't know. Let's get up my next comment. This person whose name is, what is that? Drizelian? Is that how it's pronounced? Says, when you realize Rapunzel's kingdom has death penalty for theft. Yeah, this is a comment on me announcing the Disney Princess guillotine video. Why am I not being attacked by Pokemon? There we go. Do they not attack on the bridge? Maybe, I don't know. That's something spoilers that do talk about how, hey, they tried to execute Flynn Rider within 1 day of arresting him for theft without a trial. That's authoritarian as fuck. Like, Rapunzel's parents are bad people. Like, the criminal justice system in Corona is fucked up. Like, that is the analysis you get to see in a few days when I make that Disney Princess video essay, and stop giving me Pokemon I already have. I need a Gabite or Steelix. That's what I can get here. And I'm doubling, if it's a Gabite or a Steelix, I'm doubling up on ground with a Powdon. But I don't want to go through the effort of training up another Pokemon. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to catch the Steelix, and I'm going to name it after Dorizio. Curse! I forgot that it got Curse. Oh, that's a good ability. I'm going to put it to sleep before it kills me. Okay, make it drowsy. Dragon Breath, special move. After you've cursed. Like, fuck you, Steelix, you're done. Okay, defense drop, but I can manage that. Let's get one more crunch and then go for the Dusk Balls. Okay, maybe one more. Crunch. Yeah, that's close enough. Then we go for the Dusk Balls, which I remember to No, not the Master Ball, not the Master Ball. I'm saving that for emergencies. If I lose, like, a bunch of Pokemon, I can still catch Uxie, who is level 50 and has good stats and could be a last-minute replacement. Anyway, next week it'll be delayed because I'll be out of town visiting family for Christmas. But right before New Year's, we are going to try and take on Victory Road. Yay! Dorizelia. Why did I just had a, like, little brain stopped working for a second. That was weird. Anyway, this is over now.